Hey folks, Aaron Riddell here, Editor-in-Chief of No Quarter Magazine. Just wanted to let you know that No Quarter 42 hits the shelves in late May, and it is packed full of awesome content. One of the things that's sure to get your blood pumping is the first ever battle report to feature the new big boys on the block. That's right, Cryx and Khador square off with their respective Colossals, the Kraken and the Conquest. Representing Cryx and the monstrous Kraken, Creative Director Ed Bourelle brings to the battlefield a ruthless playstyle and the devious bag of tricks Cryx is well known for. He'll definitely be looking to use the Kraken's terrifying melee reach and its gruesome ability to turn enemy corpses into meat fuel. Standing in Ed's way is Director of Business Development Shick and his mighty Khador and Conquest. He and Ed have faced one another many times and have been looking forward to this match. Will is looking to shut down Ed's Cryxian shenanigans with the power of the Conquest's main guns and the hammering devastation of its two giant fists. Before the game, we spoke to Ed and Will about their respective armies and how they plan to get the most out of their Colossals. Here's what they had to say.
For my Cryx Colossal battle report, I definitely, of course, took the Kraken. To support the Kraken, I grabbed the Witch Coven with the Egregore, the Seether, a Defiler, and a Ripjaw. That filled out my battle group. Then I grabbed a full unit of Blood Gorgers, a minimum unit of Blackbane's Ghost Raiders. I got a full unit of Mechanothralls with all 3 Brute Thralls that they can take. I also took a Necrotech with Scrap Thralls, a Pistol Wraith, a Scarlock Thrall, a War Witch Siren, and I wrapped things up with a Wraith Engine.
So I knew for this battle report I was going to be taking Khador and featuring the Conquest. So for Warcast selection, the easy choice was Commander Harkovich, the Iron Wolf. I wanted to grab the Behemoth because he's an absolute nightmare for other Colossals to deal with. Black Ivan was an easy add because he's got a great AoE, he's got a nasty Bear Claw, and Harkovich is never going to go to battle without his signature Warjack. For troop support, I picked 2 full units of Winter Guard, and then I outfitted one of those Winter Guard units with the Infantry Officer and Standard UA. Kayazi Assassins were another easy pick because they've got great defense and against both ranged and melee attacks. And then Covenant Joseph Grigorovich. Last but not least, I took 2 full units of Doom Reavers, not only because these guys hit exceptionally hard in melee, but they also can handle incorporeal models, which I knew Ed was going to take just based on my experience playing against him.
Really, I think one of my plans is I'm going to pull his Doom Reavers off to one side by lining up a flank of incorporeal models and making that very attractive and get those weapon masters out of the way of my heavy armor.
Basically, my strategy for this game is to just blow the crap out of Ed's armor. I'm going to do what Khador does best. I'm going to bring the rain, I'm going to bring it hard. I'm going to soften him up to the point to where like he has to come at me because of the scenario, and I know that. But I also know that I've got him on durability, and I've kind of got him on firepower. So between those 2 things, I'm hoping to be able to weather the amount of bodies he's going to put on the table and basically his superior offensive capabilities in melee.
He's a little conservative, but the tricky thing about Will is he always has a plan.
Knowing that Ed is really like a bloodlusty guy and he's going to go for it all out from like square one, I'm kind of hoping, one, to catch him on scenario. With any luck, I can distract him by making him really focus in on getting the cast kill, really focus in on destroying a lot of stuff with his cool new Kraken, and I'll sneak away the victory through points.
The role of the Kraken in this game really was just going to be the vanguard of my force. I want to get him out there, I want to get him supported, keep him protected, but at the same time, he's got to get out there, he's got to eat guys, he's got to get corpse tokens so that he can boost his strength to hit harder and just eat face.
So the Conquest doesn't come cheap. It's 19 points, but it's 19 points of pure awesome.
The Conquest is definitely a big concern. It has heavy armor, and I'm not worried about being able to destroy it. The problem is getting to it. I know he's going to screen with some trooper models, and at the same time, that thing has major firepower, and they're all AoEs.
The main guns also have an awesome effect, which I just love, critical devastation. So when you crit with that thing and you send like anything under that 4-inch AoE flying backwards into like the opposing troops, it's completely demoralizing to the foe. You throw in Harkovich's ability to make that gun fire twice, and it's just icing on the cake.
I've got a pretty good hunch he's taken some pretty heavy hitters in there with the Behemoth on top of the Conquest.
Honestly, one of the Colossal's worst nightmares is the Behemoth. That Jack still just tears apart anything that is steam-powered and walks on 2 legs. When put next to the Conquest, your opponent is now really forced. Which one do I go after? Do I go after the Conquest, which is going to take a lot more resources to bring down, knowing that the Behemoth is still going to be around and can still ruin my day just as effectively as the Conquest can? Or do I go after the Behemoth and leave the Conquest kind of alone? Or do I divide? And dividing against those models is a terrible idea because they're both stupid hard to kill.
The thing I think Shick should be the most concerned about really is the combinations that I have within my army. The Coven's interactions with their Arknows and Bone Jacks, the great focus allocation that I'm going to be able to have by using the Seether. He's really not going to be able to focus on any one thing because so many things are going to be a threat.
His Warcaster choice actually surprised me a little bit. I know he plays the Coven, but honestly, With Ed, it's usually like Terminus or Denegra or, you know, something a little more aggressive and a little less spelly. And I'm curious to see what kind of tricks he's going to bring about with that.
I decided on the Witch Coven of Garlgas because they do some cool things. Not only do they have a great focus stat of 9, but they have some great spells like Infernal Machine, which are going to give +2 mat and speed to the Kraken. A speed 7 Kraken is no joke, especially with the kind of reach that thing has on it. That's a 10-inch charge. Couple that with some of their other cool spells like Curse of Shadows that hit an enemy unit and allow my own models to move right through that enemy unit. Like if I can get the Kraken in the back of his battle lines right behind his units and tearing stuff up, that would be sweet.
My goal is to get a charge lane open on the Coven, pop Harkovich's feet, shoot the Coven in the face with the main guns, send a couple of them flying back, and then charge them afterwards.
I've played Shick a number of times. We always have great games, and so we sort of know a little bit about what we like to do.
Honestly, playing against Ed, there's only one thing you can ever be sure of, and that's that there's going to be pure undiluted aggression across the table coming your way. He's a loud, strong guy, and that's how he plays.
When I close my eyes and I see my final turn in this game, I see the Kraken practically in Will's deployment zone, standing on top of the wreck marker that used to be the Conquest, and grabbing Harkovich and shoving him into his furnace.
You're bringing that crack into this game, Ed? That's nothing. I've got myself a Conquest in the back, and it's got a love of seafood.
Shick, your big guns don't scare me. When I release the Kraken, your army's gonna run back to the motherland to hide behind its mother's apron.
So there you have it, a confrontation of, well, colossal proportions. To get the gory details on every shot fired, every jack scrapped, and every trooper ground into red paste, check out No Quarter 42.